and what first comes to mind. So try not to be like me and use logic or pick the answer that you think would be good, just whatever comes to your mind. Now it says it's okay to have the same answers to different questions. Do not read all of this test at once. So I didn't. I just quickly read the first question. Read the questions one by one and do not rush. It will be interesting to see the next question if you are still writing the answer to the previous one. So basically this tells you to get a pen and a paper and to write down your results. I'm going to probably type out my little results on my phone right here since I'm in a hopefully it's a dark and relaxing environment without distractions. So I'm going to paint this picture for you. I'm basically going to read the question. It's not as scenic or imaginative as our personality tests, but it does paint a picture, so hopefully I'll do a good job. And this should be a little bit quicker, so with that in mind, just relax. Make sure you have somewhere to write down your answers too, because in the end I will read you the results, and they seem to be pretty quick and pretty to the point on this, so you will want to remember what you said. So just focus on what I'm saying. The test will start now. Question number 1 out of about 8 questions. Right? Yes. Question number 1. You are peering into the sea. Imagine that you are peering into the sea. What do you feel? Focus only on your first impression. You can close your eyes to better feel it. So you're peering into the sea. What do you feel? Answer instinctually. What do you feel as you're peering into the sea? Okay, your first impression. Moving on to question number 2. Now, suddenly, you are walking through the woods. You're walking through the woods, and you look at the ground. Write down what you feel. You're walking through the woods, and you look at the ground. Write down what you feel. Write down what you feel. I'm going to try to remember this. Next. I told you this would be quick and instinctual. Next. What do you feel when looking at flying seagulls? It's alright if in this case you make up a quick response, but you're looking at flying seagulls. What do you feel when you look at the flying seagulls? Imagine you're looking up and you see flying seagulls. What do you feel when looking at these birds in the sky? Write that down, number 3. Next, number 4. What about a herd of horses? Suddenly you see a herd of horses. A herd of horses. Write down the first thing that came to your mind. Avoid thinking for too much time. It even says a herd of horses. Boom. What do you feel? The first thing that comes to your mind. The first thing that came to your mind. A herd of horses. Next. I'm trying to remember as well. 5. You are in the desert. You're in the desert. You're in the desert. Standing by the wall with a small hole behind which you see the oasis. What are your actions? Don't just write your thoughts and feelings, but focus on what you would do in this situation. So again, very quickly, you are in the desert standing by the wall with a small hole behind which you see the oasis. What are your actions? Write it down quickly, quickly, quickly. Number 6. You are still in the desert, completely exhausted, but suddenly you see a water jug. Once again, your actions are what matters in this question. Your answer may sound banal, but write it down. Is it banal? I think it's banal, that's how you say it. So number 6, you're still in the desert, completely exhausted, and suddenly you see a water jug, a jug of water. Your actions are what matters. What did you do? Please write it down. 7. Now, suddenly, you're lost in the woods in the evening, and you see a house with lights on. Write down what you're going to do. You're lost in the woods in the evening, and suddenly you see a house with lights on. Write down what you're going to do. What do you do in this situation? Write it down, number 7. And finally, question number 8. You are in the fog. Once more, focus on actions and write down how you would behave if you were in the fog. What did you say you would do? What did you say? Your actions, your actions, your actions, your actions. The test is over. It was very quick, I know. Now, we are going to go all the way to question number 1, the interpretation of you peering into the sea, and what did you feel? Here is what it means. What you felt represents your attitude to life, emotions, and sensations. I will share my answers as well. So I said I felt freedom. So I wanted to try to make this quick, but I'm just going to reflect briefly. Your attitude to life, emotions, and sensations. I said freedom. Oh my gosh, that is so true. Everything I do in life, I just say, I want to feel free. I want to feel free. I don't feel free. I feel trapped. Like my actions are sometimes governed by how free I'm going to feel. So that's so interesting. What did you say? Feel free to share your answers. Question number 2. This was you're walking through the woods and you look at the ground. Write down what you feel. And this says, the interpretation is number 2. The way you feel in your own family. I said curious. So that's interesting. I don't know how that would pertain. Did yours make a little bit more sense? I just said curious. Maybe I'm curious about my family members and their behaviors and things. I mean, I can see how that would make sense for me. Next, question number 3. This question was, what do you feel when looking at flying seagulls? And this says, your attitude towards women. And I just said, like, joyful, or like there was some kind of like joyous movement. So this is my attitude towards women. So it was like a good experience. Next, what about a herd of horses? What was the first thing that came to mind? And number 4, the interpretation is your attitude towards men. I said, it said it's okay if you say the same thing. And I quickly said freedom, like the horses looked free and like familial, like almost like a family of horses. So I just said like, it was kind of like a really nice thing. It was hard to pick like a word dedicated to that, so I messed up, but my attitude towards men, so it's sort of like, maybe there's more of like a comfort with men, perhaps like a familiarity, who knows. Alright, hopefully I'm saying this right. Now, number 5, this was the question that you're in the desert standing by the small hole, yada yada, and then it said, what were your actions when you saw the oasis? I admit I was a little bit confused by this, so I just said I would want to go towards the oasis, like I would want to just quickly just swoop in and just basically head right to that. So number 5, the interpretation is your basic life strategy and goal, the way you solve your problems. So I'll admit in this question I wasn't necessarily pondering or curious. I just wanted to dive right into the oasis because it just seemed to make the most sense. So this is your basic life strategy and goal, the way you solve your problems. I think this could be true because I tend to want to solve my problems head on, even if it doesn't always make sense, and I should sometimes proceed with caution. Like if I feel like I'm talking with my fiance about an issue, sometimes I won't always think about like, how is he going to feel if I say this to him? I'll just say it. I'll just blurt it out because I feel like I want to solve the problem if something feels wrong in any way. So that made sense for me. Alright, that was number 5. Number 6, you're still in the desert, completely exhausted, and suddenly you see a water jug, and it said your action, so what do you do? And this means Number 6 is how selective you are in sexual life, your choice of a partner. So I had the idea of holding the jug and like smelling the jug and like then drinking from it. Even though it made it seem like you're exhausted, you're thirsty, I kind of like leisurely, like not in a rush for some reason, but leisurely like held the water jug and like sort of like, smelled it and then like tasted it, I guess. And this says how selective you are in sexual life, choice of a partner. I wonder if you drank right away, if that would mean anything, or if you just like left it alone, if that would mean anything. I had curiosity, but I didn't have an overwhelming need to just like, this seems very perverted, but I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure. I feel like maybe I'm even more selective, but who knows? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Choice of a partner. Interesting. Was this accurate for you? You have to share your answers for this one because this will be juicy. Number 7. You are lost in the woods in the evening and you see a house with the lights on. Write what you're gonna do. So basically, I saw the lights on and at first I was like, I'm gonna give you my whole train of thought. At first I was like, this could be sketchy, like this could be a scary thing. But then I imagined the lights of the house were very bright and warm and exciting and inviting. So then I just really wanted to go in and knock. And the answer for this is your readiness for marriage. And this is so true. Because at first I proceeded with caution. I was like, is this the right thing to do? But then I saw the warm glow and how inviting it looked, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready. This was true for me, honestly. Was it true for you? This was juicy. Now, finally, number 8. Maybe since you've done this test many times with me before, we've done like dozens of tests, you might know what this means, but basically, you're in the fog. Focus on actions. Write down how you would behave. And this was number 8, the interpretation, your attitude to death or towards death. And I was in the fog and I was trying to like enjoy it, but I was really curious to step out of the fog. That's just how I said, okay, calm down, don't panic, but I really want to see past the fog. And that makes sense. I feel like I'm pretty calm, pretty chill, but I'm very curious, so I would definitely want to see past that. So I'll link this test in the description box down below in case you want to read it or quickly like do this with a partner or a friend or somebody, but I just wanted to do a quick imagination personality test that was way more focused on like being quick about things, because I think that I have trouble being quick about things and I often overthink what makes the most logic. So I thought if I could do a quick test with you rather than painting such a lush imagery, if we could do a quick test, it might even be more accurate because we're almost forced to like work on instincts here. And honestly, this was actually very accurate for me. I really want to know your feelings towards this and how accurate you found it for you. I wanted to do it with little to no distractions, and even though this room is not as exciting as my bedroom, I feel like I get the best sound and imagery in here, so it's just very, very basic, but then you could just really concentrate on the test and unwind with me. So this test wasn't as, imaginative as our usual tests, but I actually had a viewer who said that they had trouble conjuring up like a imagery. I'm not explaining this right, but I hope that if this viewer is watching that you found this test maybe easier to do if at all possible. I don't know, maybe I'm getting this wrong, but as usual, I do love and care about you all so much, and I take my viewers into consideration. And I know that you love these imagination personality tests, so I'll always keep it going in one way or another. And I even recently